Order the 22nd meeting of the Mayor and City Council, meeting in regular session on Monday, November 24th, 2014. Please note, if you wish to be heard at this meeting, please sign the speaker list provided on the table at the side of the council chamber. The president has the right to limit the amount of time each speaker has for each agenda item. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to speak for each agenda item. We will now have the invocation led by Reverend Warren Litchfield, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Mo.
Mayor, Mr. President, we will remember Charlie Donaldson, who is in Laurel Regional Hospital. He's part of the history of this city. Almighty God, we gather this evening to conduct the business of this city. We offer our prayer for our president, for our mayor, for the members of the city council, and for all in authority. Grant to them a sense of justice, strength, and wisdom as they perform their duties on behalf of all thy people. We commend this nation, our armed forces, our fire and rescue, our law enforcement community to thy merciful care and keeping. We ask, O Lord, that you will remember those who lie upon the bed of affliction, comfort those who mourn the loss of loved ones. In the name of the one who is Lord of life, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Rao, would you please call the roll?
Miss Crary?
Here.
Miss Nicholas?
Here.
Mr. Ricks?
Here.
Mr. Laz?
Here.
President Smalls?
Here.
Mayor Mo?
Agenda item 5. Second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1815, text amendment number 236. An ordinance to amend Chapter 20 Land Development and Subdivision, Article 1 Zoning, Division 5 Zoning Districts of the Laurel City Code, providing an effective date. I've read the title into the record for the second reading. Ms. Pulley?
Good evening. Text amendment application number 236 was filed on October 7, 2014 to amend Chapter 20 Land Development and Subdivision, Article 1, Zoning Division 5, Zoning Districts of the Laurel City Code to allow tobacco retail and smoking lounges as a special exception in the CG Commercial General Zone, CSH Commercial Shopping Zone, and a CV Village Zone, providing an effective date. On October 30th, 2014, the proposed ordinance and cover letter requesting comments was sent to the Maryland Department of Planning. A response dated October 31st, 2014 was received, stating that the Maryland Department of Planning did not have any objection to the proposed ordinance. The file contains a certificate of publication verifying that this application and public hearing was advertised as required by law in the November 6, 2014 edition of the Prince George's Centennial. On November 18, 2014, the City of Laurel Planning Commission meeting in regular session reviewed the draft amended ordinance and expressed concerns about the proposed ordinance. On motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Welford, and carried on a roll call vote of all members present, the Planning Commission recommended that the Mayor and City Council deny text amendment application number 236. The file contains a memo to the Mayor and City Council from the Department of Community Planning and Business Services dated November 19, 2014 regarding staff's review of the Planning Commission concerns and the resultant edits to the proposed ordinance. The memo reads as follows. On October 7, 2014, Ms. Sharon Harris, 9044 Gorman Road, Laurel, Maryland, 20723, submitted an application to amend the City of Laurel Unified Land Development Code in order to permit retail with smoking lounge in the CG Commercial General, CSH Commercial Shopping Center, and CV Commercial Village as a special exception. On November 18, 2014, the Planning Commission meeting in regular session reviewed the draft amended ordinance, recommended that the Mayor and City Council deny text amendment 236, ordinance number 1815. The Planning Commission in discussion expressed concerns proposed ordinance conditions as follows. 18-year-old patrons, the legal age to purchase tobacco, having access to alcohol, which requires the customers to be 21 years of age. How will the city monitor that no more than 20% of sales is for prepackaged snacks? As written, there is no limitation on the number of live performances by bands or other performing group. Staff met and discussed the Planning Commission's concerns and makes the following recommended changes to the retail sales with smoking lounge text amendment. Retail sales of cigars, flavored tobacco, hookahs, and accessories. Hookah shisha is a water pipe used to smoke tea, herbs, and other flavored tobacco. It can have a single or multiple holes and tips to share among a group. A retail store and smoking lounge is subject to the following conditions. All lounge patrons and occupants must be at the age of 21 or older. Smoking lounge can only sell prepackaged snacks such as chips and nuts, no on-site food preparation. Live performance by a band and other performer group permitted, no dancing allowed. Performances limited to 2 events per month. The business owner shall give written notice 7 days prior to the event to the Department of Community Planning and Business Services. The notice shall include the band or group in order for the Laurel Police Department to determine security measures. The recommended changes have not been reviewed by the Planning Commission, but were forwarded to the Planning Commission and are submitted to the Mayor and City Council for consideration. A copy of the November 19, 2014 memorandum was sent to all members. This concludes the reading of the file, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Pulley. I will open a public hearing at 7:07. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:07. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Councilman Ricks?
I move for the adoption of text amendment 236 ordinance 1815 with the following amendment, and that is in paragraph 1, page 2, that should read, all lounge patrons and occupants must be of 21 years of age.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the ordinance or the text amendment as amended? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mo?
Agenda item 2 is consideration of a recommendation for a contract extension for LA 13-03 to LCCI Construction Management for bridge repairs at Dorset Road.
You need to do the seats. Me first.
Let me modify that agenda a bit. Let's go to agenda item 3 first. Ordinance number 1824, an ordinance to amend certain budgets in the FY 2015 through FY 2020 capital improvement program. Ms. Saylor?
Mr. President, as we discussed at the earlier work session, this ordinance closes out the completed street projects of Woodruff Court, Lotus Court, and Hyacinth Court, and transfers the remaining funds to the bridge repairs project for the storm cell repair on Dorset Road, as well as some funding for Dorset Road improvements.
Okay, so ordinance 1824 provides the funding for the Dorset Road project. I'll open a public hearing at 7:10. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:10. Council, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President,
Councilman
move to
Ladd?
suspend the rules.
Is there a
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes. Now, Mr. Faree, we'll go back to agenda item 2.
No.
We gotta pass the ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really ahead of myself. Now, Councilman Les, I'll entertain your motion to pass the ordinance.
Mr. President, I
Thank you.
move to approve ordinance number 1824, an ordinance to amend certain budgets in the FY 2015, FY 2020 capital improvement program.
Councilman Ricks, will you
Second.
second that? Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Okay, we'll now move to agenda item 2, back. Consideration of a recommendation for a contract extension for LA 13-03 to LCCI Construction Management for bridge repairs at Dorset Road. Mr. Furry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Public Works is looking to extend that contract to do stormwater improvement along Dorset Road, which would change the cells that are falling apart with concrete collars, flumes, fencing, and riprap. We're planning on doing a public hearing on this action over at Partnership Hall on December 10th at 7 p.m. Funding for this project has just been put into the FY15 CIP in the amount of $110,000. It's recommended that we go ahead and award this extension to LCCI for the $110,000, thus saving us about $40,000 in engineering costs. And you have to keep in mind that during this construction, there will probably be some temporary road closures at this area.
Thank you, Mr. Furry. We discussed this at our work session earlier. I will first, though, open the public hearing at 7:14. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:14. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Crary?
I recommend that we approve the LCCI construction contract extension and the bridge repairs as set forth on Dorset Road by Mr. Furry.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mr. President, I'll note that because we're dealing with pulling up pipes, as we discussed at the work session, that within the parameters established for the mayor, in case of an emergency, you expend up to $35,000 more. If Mr. Free's contractor should find some hidden problems underneath the pipes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Les? Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes. Mayor?
Rob, do you have, once council's approved, you have a timeline? We're gonna try to do that before the end of the year?
Yes, I'm talking to the contractor today. It'll take him about 2 to 3 weeks to get the pipe, and he'll do some prep work and get started on it right away.
And there will be road closures, and we wanna make sure everybody understands that area is gonna be, a little difficult getting through for a while.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. I've kind of jumped around this agenda, so I'm going to move back up to agenda item 6, and that's approval of the minutes. We'll defer those minutes until the December 8th meeting. Agenda item 7 is a report of the mayor and city council. Start at my left with Councilwoman Crary.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the 11th, with my council colleagues and the mayor, we opened the new Harris Teeter here in town to a very large crowd. In addition to that, on the 13th, we had the principal's breakfast right here in this room. And that was initiated by the mayor, and we keep track of all the schools here in town and the surrounding area and their issues, and also update them on what's going on. The grand opening of the town center was on the 15th, and I'm sure some of you attended. And congratulations to Greenberg Gibbons and Samara and the mayor and this council. It's a long time coming, but very enjoyable to all of us in the city of Laurel, and congratulations to them too. This Thursday will be Lyre's having their 10th annual 5K
It'll be a walk run. It's a worthy cause. I hope everyone comes out and supports them. And this Saturday will be Small Business Saturday, and I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. That's my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman McCray. Councilwoman Nicholas.
In addition to attending the town center celebrations, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving.
Councilman Ricks.
I'll echo what I've heard reported at the town center's openings. I attended those. I also attended on the 13th the principal's breakfast, and on the 12th the Greens of Patuxent Homeowners Association meeting. I also attended the grand opening of the Regal Theaters, which was very, very nice. And I also attended the trees at the town center and the lighting for the particular evening on the 22nd. And I'd like to also send out prayers to my Uncle Charlie. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Ricks. Councilman Les.
Thank you, Mr. President. The November 12th, I attended the Patuxent River Commission meeting in Annapolis. As you've heard, we've attended attended two homeowner association meetings on the 12th and the 13th, and I encourage any homeowners association to invite us to come. We'll be glad to come and answer what questions we can. If we can't, we'll get you the answer. The town center Laurel grand opening is important because of the loss of tax revenue that the city has experienced over the last 10 years. We went down to 1/10 of what we used to get in tax revenue, and as the quarter year assessments kick in and the so on for the different opening UNOs that are granted, we'll see that increase. I'd like to remind our citizens that we have an anti-dumping ordinance here in our city. If you observe someone that appears to be dumping by offloading tires, mattresses, furniture, or bags of trash next to trash cans, dumpsters, or vacant property, please note the tag number and call the Laurel Police Department non-emergency number 301-498-0092. Get well wishes go out to Mrs. Virginia Scaglarini. Hopefully she'll be home soon. Finally, I'd like to wish all of our citizens and their families a very happy and safe Thanksgiving weekend. Please drive carefully. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Les. Like my colleagues, I had the opportunity to attend a number of events, including the Homeowner Association meeting at Conti Crossing. And as Councilman Les mentioned, any homeowner associations that would like us as council members to come out and talk about things that are going on in the city, listen to their concerns and provide some responses, we're always available and more than happy to do that. I had the opportunity at the invitation of our District 1 School Board Representative Sabrina Epps to attend a town hall meeting at Martin Luther King Middle School. The town hall meeting brought together public officials as well as parents, teachers, and others to talk about some of the issues that were going on at Martin Luther King. And I'm happy to say that after hearing many of the concerns that were raised by the folks who were there were some very positive outcomes that will come out of that meeting. So we're looking forward to seeing some changes and improvements at Martin Luther King. You've heard my colleagues mention, and anyone who has driven around the city knows that the town center is open, and it's, from all indications, doing quite well. You've heard us mention the mayor, Councilman Ricks, and others mention jobs in the town center, and that's a very, very big deal. I happened to go to the movie theater for the first time yesterday with my 12-year-old grandson, and as we were standing at the concession stand, I asked a young lady who was helping me, I asked her, I said, "You go to Laurel High School?" And she said, "Yes." And I says, "What do you think about this?" And she was very pleased. She's happy to have a job. As a high school student, as I looked down the row of all the young people who were there working, the town center and all the businesses there have really reached out to our community and provided jobs for a lot of young people in our community. Obviously, not just young people, but certainly if you go to any of the new businesses in the town center, you'll see a number of youth working in those establishments, and that's a great thing for this community. I'll also just end by wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and don't overeat. Remember?
You know the date of the tree lighting at the hospital?
Not yet.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me give well wishes to Mary Blankenship in our communications department who had some surgery. Wish her the very best speedy recovery. As you've heard, the grand opening ribbon cutting celebration at the town center, and then Regal Theaters, Harris Teeters, and other. I want to thank Brian Gibbons in particular for the hard work that he's done to make that possible. They're not done, as he stated numerous times, and I think you'll see some other exciting things happening in hopefully the first of the year. The tree lighting at Laurel Center, let me thank Councilman Ricks for attending and taking care of that. Told me I had thousands of people there and went by. Looked very nice, but while we celebrate theirs, don't forget about our tree lighting and parade that will take place in the city of Laurel. The 27th and 28th, city offices will be closed. Check the schedule for trash recycling pickup. Also, a couple of announcements. The tree dedication that we'll be holding for Eric Hoagland, who was a former member of the Department of Park and Rec Citizens Advisory Committee, will be held on the 29th at McCullough Field from 10:30 to 11. The public is invited. We want to honor his memory in placing a tree at McCullough Field. On December the 4th, the U.S. Army Field Band concert will play at the Laurel High School from 7:30 to 9 at the Laurel Board of Trade. We want to thank them for their hard work. No? Stand by. We'll let them talk about that. It's in my notes. Could be a cancellation. December the 5th is the Laurel Thrift Store Center and AMVET's Department of Maryland Annual Holiday Awards program that they recognize several of the city departments here, and will be taking part in that at 7, which is at 7 o'clock until 9. On December the 6th, the Laurel Police Department is partnering with St. Mark's United Methodist Church and the local chapter of Prince George County, NAACP, for a Guns for Gift Cards exchange. It'll be held at St. Mark's on December the 6th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. On December the 6th, as I stated a moment ago, the holiday parade, tree lighting, building lighting, doing the building some. 5th and Montgomery, the Anderson Murphy Community Center will take place from 5:30 until 7:30. And Mike, contact your office. Contact Department of Park and Recs if you'd like to participate in that. It's usually a very good turnout, and we would hope again this year we have another good turnout. Got a lot of exciting things planned for that on December the 6th from 5:30 to 7:30. We are collecting food at most city buildings. You'll see a box. You'll see one out in the lobby, as well as toys for tots. We're partnering again with St. Mark's United Methodist Church, where you can drop off toys. And the turkey trot, as you heard Councilmember Crary talk about, the 5K run and fun walk, all proceeds support Lars. And the registration's at 7 a.m. on the 27th at 5th and Main Street. I do, Mr. President, I have 2 proclamations. I want to thank you. I know tonight at the end of the agenda there'll be possibly election of a new president. I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for your leadership, and look forward to working with whoever the next president will be. So again, thank you and congratulations to you for a good year. I am very concerned, as if you watch the meetings, we've had different text amendments, some zoning issues, some other things that have required council to take some action, as well as the staff to do some research. I'm going to be talking to Mr. Manzi. I'm going to see if there's a way that we can help alleviate some of that problem. I know that our growth plan that we're required to do by state law, we need to get that moving as well. So we're going to come up with some ideas. We'll come back to the council with some ideas on how we think the best way to proceed, so we're not rushed and that we're and being responsible when we talk about our zoning and land use. I'll do these after the proclamations. I got some appointments. I do have two proclamations that I would like to read. The first is Proclamation 1421, whereas Giving Tuesday was established as a national day of giving on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, and whereas Giving Tuesday is a collaboration of a unique blend of partnerships, charities, families, businesses, and individuals to transform how people think what people think about, talk about, and participate in giving season. And whereas Giving Tuesday encourages all to be generous in whatever way and manner, whether it means volunteering at a local charity or donating to a favorite cause and building a better community. Now therefore, I, Craig A. Moe, the Mayor, City of Laurel, do hereby proclaim December the 2nd, 2014 as Giving Tuesday, and urge all citizens to participate in the celebration, either by volunteering or donating if possible. Joe, I'm told you're coming up. Joe Murchison? Okay. Joe Murchison, you can introduce your others. Present this to Joe. Joe's, what's your title there, Chairman, President?
Executive Director.
This way. Put this so you can, Executive Director is side by side, and I'll let you speak and introduce. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. This is Katie Meixner, who is working with our nonprofit to organize community support through Giving Tuesday.
We thank you for offering us this proclamation. We are very excited about Giving Tuesday. Just a reminder, as he said, it's a way of kind of reclaiming the holiday season and bringing it back towards giving and not just going out and spending. So we are very excited for Giving Tuesday, and we are very excited for the impact that any donations will have on our organization and the work that we do for Prince George's County Public Schools. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you don't have to wait till Tuesday, Joe, and then we'll take checks in the back if you want to donate a little money. They do great work side by side, so thank you all very much for what you continue to do. Next is Proclamation 1417, whereas the City of Laurel anticipates appreciates our local small businesses and contributes. Hold on, my eyes need to get focused for a second. Either I gotta get glasses. Whereas the City of Laurel appreciates local small businesses for their contributions they make to the local economy and to the community. Whereas it is important for people to support small businesses they value in their community. And whereas the City of Laurel supports our local businesses because they create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And therefore, I, Craig A. Moe, the Mayor of the City of Laurel, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November the 29th, 2014 as Small Business Saturday in the City of Laurel, and urge all Laurel citizens to celebrate by spending some money on small business. Who's going to come up? All y'all come on up. Any small business, come on up here. I'm sure Matthew will say something, and Bernie and Lori and anybody else that's out there that wants to speak. But should I give you the mic first? Bernie's going to.
Small Business Saturday is a very important element to the small business. Folks don't realize on Main Street there were, in the past 3 years, there was 25 new businesses that opened up on Main Street. So we're asking you guys not just to come to the mall, but come to Main Street also, because we have a lot to offer. As a matter of fact, the new mall is actually partnering with us this weekend to make sure that they're giving out coupons and stuff to come out on the street. So we're appreciative you continue to support small business and come out on Main Street. Stop, shop, Main Street, We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. I also want to thank the city of Laurel and the citizens of Laurel for assisting us with improving Main Street, as well as the greater city in general. The city has been kind enough to allocate additional personnel resources. Alicia's doing a great job going around to different businesses and facilitating communication. We meet with the mayor monthly. He's very sharing and very wise with his recommendations. This is a city, a town that works together. There's a lot of pride in Main Street, Laurel, and I think you'll be seeing differences. We've been working on it already, with just spiffing things up a little bit more, making it nicer for the community, and trying to share that gem that's in our backyard, the riverfront park as well.
Well, Laurel's been great. Being in the real estate business, all the improvements of Laurel have helped us sell a lot of homes and help with property values. And that's a testament of not just having houses, but strong school systems, as well as a business, and it all works together hand in hand. I will also be running in the 5K trot on Thursday, so I'll be getting up. Hope to see other people out there for the support the Lars Foundation. So thank you.
The thing about the Laurel Board of Trade is small business, big ideas.
We do apologize for the Army Field Band that was scheduled. The dates got screwed up with the Army Field Band in the Laurel High School, so that's going to be rescheduled for sometime in the spring. So look for that new date coming up in the spring for that. Thank you.
Let me again acknowledge and thank the Board of Trade for the many, many things that they do in this community, and appreciate them being here tonight. Hopefully another small business will be coming down on Main Street as well, a few others, and want to remind those that, and again, thank the council, because this would not have been possible. We do have our grant program that we have, and we've committed other resources, and we can only do that because of members of the council that support small business, and especially the Main Street area. And again, I think what happens at the town center will only help Main Street and other businesses. So thank you all for coming out, and thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. President, let me conclude my report by making a couple reappointments to some committees and commissions. Maggie Chenault, the Board of Appeals. Marlene Collins, Board of Appeals. Kimberly Parker, Board of Appeals, the alternate. They would be 11/24/14 to 11/24/17. Jim Hester. Jim is here with us tonight. Jim has been very involved, and want to thank him for his support as chairman of the Ethics Commission. Jim would be, and Tony Drake as well, reappointment to the Ethics Commission. They'd be 11/24/14 to 11/24/17. Bobby McSaney, Barbara Boschert, and Patsy Faddis to the Tree Board. They'd be 11/24/14 to 11/24/16. Mike McLaughlin, the Environmental Affairs, 11/24/14 to 11/24/16. Calvin Parks, the Emergency Services Commission, 11/24/14, 11/24/17, and Ben Gray, to the Park and Recs, CAC, 11/24/14, 11/24/16. Now, I might add the Park and Recs, CAC. Did we move that out? Then we move that, yeah. So we're gonna make those appointments, as you're well aware. We made some changes that'll be done by executive order, but we wanted to make that appointment to you tonight. We'd ask for your confirmation.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We all know these, the fine work that these individuals do and have done. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Les. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move to Agenda 8, General Public Hearing I'll open a general public hearing at 7:35. I have no one signed up to speak for the general public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the general public hearing at 7:35. We'll move down to agenda item 11. Second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1819, an ordinance to amend the City of Laurel Employee Retirement Plan to extend the Deferred Retirement Option Plan. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:36. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:36. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, move for the adoption of ordinance number 1819.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ms. Rao, please call for the vote.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 12 is a second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1820, an ordinance to amend the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan to extend the Deferred Retirement Option Plan. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:38. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:38, and I'll entertain a motion from council.
Mr. President,
Ms. Gray?
I move to approve ordinance number 1820 as read into the record.
Thank you. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Ricks. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 13 is a second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1821, an ordinance to amend the City of Laurel Employee Retirement Plan as it relates to interest accruals on participant contributions. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:39. I have no one signed up to speak for this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:39. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President, move for adoption of 1821.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Ricks. Thank you, Councilwoman McCrary. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 14 is the second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1822, an ordinance to amend the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan as it relates to interest accruals on participant contributions. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:40. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:40. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, move for the adoption of ordinance 1822.
Thank you, Councilman Ricks. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Laz?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 15 is a second public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1823, an ordinance to amend the operating budget of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2015. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:41. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:41. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President, move for the adoption of ordinance number 1823, an ordinance to amend the operating budget of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2015.
Thank you, Councilman Les. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 16 is a second public hearing with possible action on resolution number 13-14, a resolution to set the polling locations for regular voting in the city of Laurel for the general election on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:42. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:42. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Crary.
I recommend that we approve resolution number 13-14 as read into the record.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Les. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 17 is the second public hearing with possible action on resolution number 14-14, a resolution to set the dates, times, and polling locations for early voting in the city of Laurel for the general election on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015. I read the title into the record for the second reading. I'll open a public hearing at 7:43. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 7:43. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Crary.
I recommend that we approve resolution number 1414 as read into the record concerning early voting in the city of Laurel.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mayor Mel?
Agenda item 18 is election of the president, and I will pass this gavel to Ms. Rao.
Thank you. The floor is now open for nominations for council president.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Carreri?
I nominate Councilmember Edward Ricks.
Second.
Okay, we have a nomination by Ms. Crary, seconded by Mr. Smalls. I'm now going to call the roll. Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Abstain. First of all, let me thank everyone for their support. This is a great honor. I've been this chair before, and it always served me well, and I tried to serve the city well. I want to thank Mr. Smalls, Fred Smalls, for all his support, Mayor Mo for your support. I think, Fred, you've done an excellent job for the last 2 years. I think you probably need a rest, but nevertheless, on behalf of myself, and I'd like to also thank the rest of the council for their support, on behalf of our whole team, we'd like to present you with this.
Should I open this now or put it under my tree?
Open it.
No, you open it now. I think you
Let me say a couple of words before I do, because the paper and voice just won't work well. It's been a real pleasure serving as president for this council for 2 years. I've learned a lot, and I will certainly continue to learn a lot from each one of you. We still have a lot of work to do, obviously. But I just want to say I have a tremendous amount of respect for each one of you, Mayor included. And and I just look forward to us continuing along the path that we have. We do it because I feel our hearts are in the right place, and that is serving the residents and businesses of this city. I think it's pretty evident as you move about this city, the work that the city government has done, not just us as elected folks, but every one of the people who are sitting over here along the dais and their staffs all make us who are sitting up here look good. So, I thank everyone for it. I'm not going away. I'll still be here. I'll continue to, raise my voice when needed, but I appreciate it. I'll turn the mic off and open.
While you're doing that, Fred, I'd like to recognize my two brothers, Ronnie and Robert, that are in the audience, my good friend Brian, and Josh and James. Thank you all for coming out, as well as the rest of you.
That's what I was. So I was thinking a pair of sneakers. Wow.
I would never buy you sneakers.
Outstanding clock. Thank you. Thank you very much.
With that, the meeting is adjourned. Oh, excuse me. I knew I'd make a mistake. I'd like to announce that I'm going to ask Donna Crary to be my pro tem. With that, we're adjourned.